I wish you people all the best. Good luck. And wait for our chief guest. He might be arriving soon. Friends, to please rename yourself as according to your participants. Our judges, Dr. Manish Gupta, Associate Professor, Mechanical Engineering, Guru Jambheshwar University, and Dr. Rekha Rao, Assistant Professor, Pharmacy Department, Guru Jambheshwar University. And it is my great honor for me to introduce and welcome our chief guest this evening. And he is no one else than our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Tankeshwar Kumar. I appreciate you taking the time to come up and encourage the participants. Thank you so much, sir. And I would like to invite our Training and Placement Cell Director, Pratap Singh Malik, to please welcome the dignitaries.
Thanks a lot, Nitya. So good afternoon to one and all present in this virtual speakathon program. First of all, I would like to welcome Professor Tankeshwar Kumarji, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, who has spared his very important time when exams are going on to motivate our students. And my heartiest welcome to our both of judges of today's event, and Dr. Manish Gupta ji from Mechanical Engineering Department, and Dr. Rekha Rao from Department of Pharmacy. So both of these will be evaluating the performance of students. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. I was welcoming our both of judges, Dr. Manish Gupta and Dr. Rekha Rao, and I welcome all the volunteers also and all the participants who have come forward to participate in today's this speakathon program, which is being held on very important topic, that is new education policy 2020. So it is our sixth fortnightly virtual speakathon program, and overall it is 12th speakathon event in the series, which we started 4 months back on 13th of May. And till now 127 students have participated in all the speakathon events, and many students repeatedly participate in such type of events. But we can say that more than 125 students have come forward to speak on this type of virtual platform. Today we are having some very pleasing coincidences also. One coincidence is that our this speakathon event was inaugurated on this 13th May by Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, and again today also he is our chief guest. So this is one coincidence. And second coincidence is that 2 years back we started this type of monthly program in which students are given chance to express themselves to enhance their communication skills with the name of monthly competition day. And 2 years back, exactly on the same day, that is 11th of September, we started this program. And all of you know that significance of this day, 11th September, is that on this day, Swami Vivekanand, a great orator, a great saint, and youth icon, he spoke in the World Conference of Religions in Chicago, and taking inspiration from his oratory, his expression, and his idea, we have started this event in which students are basically motivated to express all the students. So thank you to all. So I wish all the students all the best. Thanks a lot.
Sir, the 11th September you mentioned, seriously reminding, I was new in the university, and it was 11th September. The day, in the daytime it was aptitude test held for the very first time, and in the evening time it was presentation competition, PowerPoint presentation competition. I remember the participants, I remember the winners, and I remember the event when it was started and how it was. And from that day, I am continuously trying to connect many of the people to enhance their communication skills and their confidence level. Thank you so much, sir. And I request our Vice Chancellor, sir, to please encourage the students.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you, Nitya. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Nitya. First of all, I congratulate all of you, all the students and participants, those who are participating in this kind of activities, Speakathon, from the 13th of the May onward. This is very important. I see my university is different. I see my university different because we, have been doing such activities in which there is a participation by the students. That's very important. I see so many advertisements and things are like that, but very few the activities where the students are really involved, right? The active students of the, those who are studying in their graduate or postgraduate classes. And this has been possible, I think, is mainly because of our training and placement cell. Pratap Malik has done a great job by, involving all our students of the, where they can involve the students and they can learn various things through these platforms, whether it is the online or whether it's a competition kind of thing he's organizing. It's a great, I think, the contribution, because the aim of the university is obviously to make our students more knowledgeable with more wisdom and things like that, right? So that is the activity being done by our training and placement cell. I'm very happy and very congratulate him for doing all these activities. And in the secondly, this is a students who are participating in the national education policy. We call it a national education policy. The word, first word is very, very important. It's say the national. We say many people must have heard that we talk about the values and the combination with the education and so on, right? We talk about the global education. We may want to make our students as a global citizen, but we at first time we have said that the first word is the national word. The first value attached to this policy will obviously be the nationalism, right? So that is very, very important, that whosoever who study in this education policy should have the faith in his own country, faith in himself, and believe in his own history. That is very, very important. So because when we say that we all are one, right? यदि हम अपने आप को देखें कि यदि हम सारे एक जैसे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं यदि हम कोई डिफरेंसेस आते भी हैं तो वो टेम्परेरी होते हैं और फिर हम आपस में जुड़ जाते हैं. तो जो चीजें जो इम्पोर्टेंट है, जो अब हम पूरी एक बड़ी बात देश की बात आती है, सब हम इकट्ठे मिलकर एक उसकी बात करते हैं, तो ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है कि जब भी जब कहते हैं कि परिवार में जैसे कहते हैं कि कोई प्रॉब्लम आई है तो सब इकट्ठे मिलकर उसको निभा सकते हैं. तो ये जो देश बनेगा एक पूरा परिवार की तरह हो, जिसमें कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आए तो हम सब मिलकर उसे कर सके. ये सभी की भावना है जो आनी चाहिए, वो ऐसी कोई राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति होनी चाहिए. तो मुझे लगता है राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति इन चीजों पर भी ध्यान करती है और सभी की जो भावनाएं हैं उसको भी त्याग करती है, सभी भाषाओं को भी आदर करती है. और जो इसमें जो आधुनिक बातें हैं, जिसे हम चाहते हैं कि हम किसी भी कंट्री के साथ किसी भी ग्लोबल उसमें कंपटीशन में जाकर उसको compete कर सके, वो सभी बातों का ध्यान रखती है. तो मैं ये कहता हूँ कि अपने आप में जो राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति बनी है, तो पूरा मैं समझता हूँ कि एक इंसान को एक बेहतर इंसान बनाने के लिए और उसे मोर नॉलेजेबल एंड मोर विजडम की बात करती है कि इसे कैसे हम उसे एक्टिविटी बेस उसे शिक्षा दे सकते हैं और उसको हम कैसे हमेशा मैं आप लोगों से जब भी बात करता हूँ, आपने देखा होगा कि मैं इनोवेशन की बात करता हूँ कि बच्चे जो हैं कुछ इनोवेटिव बने, कुछ एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप बने। हमेशा बात करता था कि उनमें रिस्क लेने की कैपेसिटी होनी चाहिए। तो लेकिन रिस्क लेने की कैपेसिटी होनी चाहिए, लेकिन ये कैपेसिटी जो है बात कहने को आसान होती है, लेकिन इसको पैदा करना है जो हमारे लोगों की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है। मतलब जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में बैठे हैं या जो और हमसे भी ऊपर बैठे हैं, जो जो देश चलाते हैं, जो प्रदेश चलाते हैं, उनकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कैसे उनको जो इको सिस्टम उसको में बनाया जाए। और इस बार जो शिक्षा नीति में है, जो मैं बता रहा हूँ कि इसमें फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी आई है। बच्चा जो है अपने पैशन के साथ साथ यदि वो दूसरा सब्जेक्ट जो टेक्निकल सब्जेक्ट है उसको भी चूज करना चाहता है, उसकी चॉइस कर सकता है और कभी भी एंट्री करके कभी भी एग्जिट कर सकता है, कभी एंट्री भी कर सकता है। तो ये फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी जो है बच्चे को मैं समझता हूँ रिस्क लेने की कैपेसिटी को बढ़ाती है। और जो बातें हैं जो रिस्क लेने के लिए जाती हैं वो उसको स्टार्टअप की पॉलिसी होनी चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए। ये देखिए आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी में ऑलरेडी इनोवेशन इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर बन रहा है, तो ऐसा जो है माहौल जो है पहले ही भी बन रहा है। और जो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात है, मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि कोई भी शिक्षा नीति जो है, जब हम उसका आउटपुट क्या है, आउटपुट क्या है, हमारे जो स्टूडेंट हैं वो पढ़े लिखे तो हैं, लेकिन उनके नॉलेज कितनी है, वो कितने उसको नॉलेज को यूज कर पाते हैं। यदि ये उनकी फिर और आगे जो है उनकी जो नौकरी है या उनको जो बिजनेस है, यदि वो उसको मेरिट के आधार पर मिलता है तभी उसकी वैल्यू पड़ती है। ठीक है, तभी उस बच्चे को दिल करता है कि मैं आगे कुछ पढूं, कुछ नॉलेज लूं, कुछ अपना एक्टिविटी कुछ करूं, तभी उसका दिल करता है। तो ये चीजें जो है रिक्रूटमेंट में भी किस तरह जो है बेहतरी हो सकती है, सरकार ने इस तरफ भी ध्यान दिया है। सेंट्रल रिक्रूटमेंट एजेंसी बनाई है, टेस्टिंग एजेंसी बनाई है, तो सभी चीज जो है मेरिट से होने लगेंगी। तो मुझे लगता है उसका उसका जो एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन है उसकी क्वालिटी में बहुत अंतर पड़ेगा। और शिक्षा जो है, जो हमारी जो नई शिक्षा नीति आई है उसको जोड़ते हुए, वोकेशनल स्टडीज को सोचते हुए, और मुझे लगता है कि बहुत ही ये अपने आप में एक महत्वपूर्ण जो समूंगा कि बदलाव है जो देश देखेगा। और उम्मीद करता हूं कि आप लोग सभी इसमें सहमत होंगे, शामिल होंगे और हम देश को एक अच्छे परिवर्तन की तरफ लाएंगे। उम्मीद करता हूं कि जो आज आपका स्पीकरथन है और महत्वपूर्ण टॉपिक पे है और इसमें आप पार्टिसिपेट करिए। और इसमें ठीक है, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कैसे होना चाहिए, जहाँ हमें दुविधा लगती है वो बातें भी होनी चाहिए। और सभी मुझे लगता है कि आप इसको उम्मीद करता हूँ कि इसको आप अप्रिशिएट भी करेंगे और इसको कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करना चाहिए इस तरह भी आप ध्यान करें। मैं एक बार फिर से आपको सभी को बधाई देता हूँ, जो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं, जो इसे ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हैं उनको भी, और जजेस को भी धन्यवाद करता हूँ। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you so much, sir. And in addition to Dr. Kalam used to say, the purpose of education is to make good human beings with skill and expertise. Enlightened human beings can be created by teachers, and changes in the education policy is a major way to provide the nation better students, professional and better human beings. Thank you so much once again, and I would like to invite our first participant, Priyanka. Priyanka, you are requested to please turn your video on.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Priyanka, and today I will speak about NEP 2020, and the feature I'm going to discuss is self-reliant India. NEP 2020 is not just about education system, but it is a step forward toward a better India. for a better India, for a better future of our nation. NEP 2020 is built on the foundational pillars of access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability. This policy is aligned to the 2030 agenda of sustainable development and aims to transform India into a vibrant knowledge society and global knowledge superpower. There are various key features of NEP 2020, like education as economy booster, internationalization of higher education, digitalized pedagogy and classrooms, a laid accreditation system, and the most important I'm going to discuss is self-reliant India. Since 2014, our government has taken various initiatives like Skill India, Startup India, Make in India, and the latest being Atmanirbhar India. And the common goal of all these initiatives is to promote entrepreneurship over jobs. And NEP 2020 plays a vital role in the implementation of all these schemes, as the main objective of NEP 2020 is to devise and implement robust solution to its own problems that are in harmony with different programs. And in the recent situation, the recent scenario of COVID-19 have proved the vitality of such a self-reliant society. And in the speech of Narendra Modi, our respected Prime Minister, when he announced about NEP 2020, the change in education system, he also mentioned that NEP 2020 will play a vital role in the helping of fulfillment of the nation aspiration and give direction to India's goals of Atmanirbhar Bharat and helping our country to become self-reliant. So I can say that NEP 2020 will play a vital role in to develop our country as a self-reliant and to develop our nation independently, to develop our own technology, and we are not dependent on other countries anymore. So overall, I can say that NEP 2020 is a blueprint for self-reliant India, for which our government is working for a long time, and now it is the time to change. And the basic change that we can bring is from our education system. There is a key major change in our education system, that is, it is more based on skills. Previously, our education system was more based on studying, and now it is more based on learning. The students will be more skilled as they are getting compulsory vocational courses. And initially, the students were given chances are given.
Priyanka, time is up.
Okay, so I can say that it is very important for our country to develop. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. As I forgot to mention the rules, I need to tell you all that there is a 100 marks competition, and the judging criteria will depend upon the relevancy, that is of 25 marks, content delivery 25 marks, quality of the content 25 marks, and body language 25 marks. Okay, the total will become 100 marks, and you people will have only timings of 3 minutes only. You can't speak further. One of our volunteer, Pratibha, she is noting down the time. Is it okay to all? So let us proceed further. The next participant is Vishal Kumar from Guru Jambheshwar University. Vishal Kumar.
Hello everyone, am I audible?
Vishal, you are not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes,
Hello?
yes,
Am I audible now?
yes, Vishal.
I think I am having a connection issue. Am I audible?
Yes, Vishal, you are audible. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. A very good afternoon to all of you. Hope you all are safe and doing great in this time. So this is Vishal from BTech IIT final year. As we all know, our government has introduced new education policy 2020, and I would like to talk about some major reforms for higher education according to NEP 2020. And the first major reform is multidisciplinary education. Like in today's time, we have multiple streams, we have multiple courses, but we don't have the permission to choose subjects according to our interest. We don't have the permission to choose subject that we want to study. Suppose I want to study economics with my course, then I cannot do that with in the present situation. But according to NEP 2020, multidisciplinary education will be promoted, and I will have the flexible curriculum, and I now I can choose create a combination of subjects. Second thing is certification. Like in the current scenario, if I am a dropout from the college and I leave the college in between of 3 or 4 years, then I cannot get any official document or certificate from the college. But according to NEP 2020, if I leave the college in 1 year, I can get a certificate. And if I leave the college in 2 years, I can get a diploma. And if I complete the degree in 3 or 4 years, I can get the degree as usual. And the third point I want to discuss is open and distance learning. Open and distance learning, we will have more emphasis on online classes so that students can be easily prepared for the pandemic-like situations. And this decision, open and distance learning, will have a great impact on those students who cannot go outside from and study. Like especially for girls in rural areas, like every family don't allow them to go out and study further study after school. So open and distance learning will have a great impact on their lives. They can study after school too. And the fourth point is the fourth major point is mentoring mission. In mentoring mission, a large pool of faculty or retired faculty will be created, including those who can teach in regional languages, because it is more easy to understand in regional languages, and it is more easy to grab the information in the college. And the last thing is there will be a single entrance examination for all the courses except medical or legal studies. In today's time, we have multiple entrance examination to enter into the college, but according to NEP 2020, there will be only one single entrance examination. So finally, I would like to say that this will change the face of Indian education system. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you so much, Vishal. Now I request Sanju to please turn. Okay, Sanju.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
I just love biology. But shit, man, if I choose for biology, I have to learn physics also. No. I don't love biology to this extent that I study physics for it. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I, Sanju, am here to share my views on one of the features of our new education policy, that is flexibility of the streams. Nowadays, a new education policy has come, where we can choose our streams on our own. Education is the most important part for our nation. It builds our nation and makes the strength. It is the backbone of our country. Earlier, we were not supposed to choose the streams which gives different subjects, but we have to choose the subjects which are given in a particular stream. Students who want to study biology have to study also with physics. That was the situation, that what a devil situation of where you have to choose only one of them. But now it would not be there, because if you want to study biology, you can study history with it. You are not forced to study physics with it. That's why it will be good for all the students. There will be one more change in our society. That will be the mindset of the people. Earlier, people used to think that students who opt for medical and non-medical are best. They are most intelligent, and definitely they will be successful in their life. They don't have to suffer for the jobs. And they thought students who choose for humanities have to suffer a lot. They have to struggle a lot. Marks taken by the humanities students 95% and marks taken by a medical student 75%. They thought they both are equal. There is no difference. But now it will not be there. This will build a confidence in the students because they will be seen equal. There will be no difference on them on the basis of the streams. And there will be no more question asked from you people which stream you are going to opt. You will see that you can opt music with any of the stream. This will be beneficial for all the students. The policy came in India after 34 years, but still it will be very good for all the students because the streams are converted into a river now. Education is the passport for tomorrow for those who built it today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Sanju. I need to highlight that education streams has become the river today, and exactly they have become the river today.
So I'm Rashmi Joshi from BTech CSC second year. So it is said that it is important to make its education system. So I'm going to tell you about the National Education Policy 2020 for college students. Okay, so under the guidelines of National Education Policy 2020, there are so many schemes for college students. So firstly, I would like to tell you about the multi-entry and multi-exit scheme. So firstly, multi-exit means, let's say there is a student who joined the college and want to leave the college after first year. So now the student will be awarded a certificate. But previously it was not there. If the student now leave after second year, then the student will get diploma. And after third or fourth year, the student will get bachelor's certificate. And the multi-entry means if the student want to rejoin the college and earlier the student had done 1 year, then they not have to rejoin the college from first year. Now the student can join the college from second year. So this is going to save the money and time of the student both. So it was the first point. Now the second point is the implication of some restriction on the private colleges. So the government has now restricted the private colleges with their fee structure. Earlier, the private colleges used to take a lot of fees, but now they cannot take the fees above the certain cutoff restriction fees. So this is going to help poor students for their education. And the one more point is the digital stored marks. So now these marks are getting to be stored in digital lockers, which is going to help those students who are rejoining the college after some year. So now these digitally stored grades will help them to add up their final percentage. So these all policies are going to help students. And overall, the national education policy concludes that the 2 points that national education policy concludes are that first one is education to all category of students, whether they are poor or rich. And the second point is to make students skillful, confident, and for their overall development. So this is all about the national education policy, its benefit. So as the respected Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir said, it is important to have a good national education policy, and its main point is that the first word, that the national, it means the whole country is getting benefit from the national education policy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rashmi. The girl concluded as soon she heard the warning bell. I would like to inform you all that warning bell will be rang at 2:30, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I request Pratibha Didi to please show us a demo of the warning bell. Pratibha Didi. And final bell will ring at 3. Okay, so I would like to invite the next participant, Rahul. Rahul from BSc Economics, Guru Jambheshwar University. Rahul,
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Good afternoon, VC sir, and all the judges, and dear participants. Very good afternoon. I'm Rahul, student of BSc Economics, second year. Today, I am here to present my views on the newly announced education policy. As we all know, the new education policy was announced on 29th July 2020 by our Cabinet Education Minister, Mr. Ramesh Pokhriyal. This new education policy provides a new draft for the Indian education system. The new NEP 2020 focuses on the student from the initial years of their studies. The earlier existing 10+2 school pattern has been changed into 5+3+3+4. The initial 5 years, the medium of education will be the mother tongue or the regional language in that particular region. That will help to student to make a grip on the subject so that they can identify their interest. And the real, I think the real change starts from the 6th standard, from where coding and the vocational training has been would be started, so that students would be able to pursue a different skill, so that they can arrange for their own employment rather than depending on any other entity. And the change which has been made after 10th class, the earlier existing pattern used to try to fit the student in 3 streams, but now this has been changed, and the students can choose the subjects of their interest. But the although the complete policy is very nice, but the part which I liked most, the change which has been made in the bachelor's program. Yes, what used to happen, any student had to devote 3 or 4 years of his life to get a degree, and he was not rewarded with any degree if he had to leave that particular course in between due to any reason. That reason might be financial instability, or might be the interest of the student in any other course. Now this NEP 2020 provides facility to exit from a particular course and take the credit, after 1 year a certificate will be provided, after 2 year diploma, and after 3rd and 4th year, according to the course, the degree will be provided. And in any case any student has left any course in between, and he want to complete his course after some years, he can do it with regard to availability of suitability of time. But the most important, I think, the task which is the implementation of this policy. If we assume that with the help of this education policy we can transform India into a knowledge hub, then I would like to remind you the some coming challenges, we should prepare ourselves with the new challenges, we would like to build the new infrastructure for the digital infrastructure, and we also would like to recruit teachers to rectify the student teacher ratio. So implementation will be the very important step that must be taken. That's why this policy will become successful, as I think. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rahul. I would like to invite Garima from BSc Chemistry, Guru Jambheshwar University.
It is better to teach an adult. Let me restart.
At her end.
Okay. So, it is better to teach and children than to rebuild an adult. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Garima from BSc Chemistry second year, speaking in front of you. As the NEP 2020 focuses on the transformational reforms in the school and the higher education, ensuring the high quality education and the early childhood care education. Yes, that's what I will be speaking about. The language policy in NEP 2020 which will be focusing on the importance of mother tongue and regional language, which is very necessary for the early childhood care education. According to it, there will be no language barriers on the children up to class 5th and preferably beyond to grade 8th. The medium of instruction will be as suitable for the children. Also, the government clarified that it will be up to the institutions and the states to decide the level of implementation. As the language plays a crucial role in the understanding and grooming up of the tiny toads, there are several surveys which are governmental as well as non-governmental shows that there is a very unstable literacy rate and the numeracy of over 5 crore children is very unstable, and there is a learning crisis in India. And also one data shows that out of 100 tribal children, only 20 reach to the higher education. But due to this concept of language-based specified curriculum, but after this new language policy, there will be no language barrier on the children, and they can pursue their studies in their mother tongue as well as their regional languages. It will be demanding a huge support from the faculty to teach the children in a playful manner and a way that enhances the children's imagination, exploration, and the experiences by teaching them in their mother tongue and their regional languages. This multilingual system will enhance the children's social capabilities, teamwork, and the level of cooperation they will be showing leading to the better future and their better youth for the young India. Also, at last, I would like to say that as the information combines with emotion, it leads to a long-term memory, which is the only thing wanted children to be doing at his study levels. That's what all I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. Aishwarya, I request you to please turn your video.
Am I visible and audible, Nitya?
Yes, you are audible and visible.
The secret to success is to be ready when the opportunity comes. So for all the Indian teachers and the aspiring teachers, the time has come to seize the opportunity. Greetings to everyone watching me. My name is Aishwarya. Seeing the primacy of the National Education Policy 2020, which is all set to replace the previous policy developed in 1986. I'm here to elucidate one important feature of the National Education Policy, that is the teacher education. A teacher shapes the future generations, and hence the teacher preparation requires multidisciplinary perspectives and the newest techniques in pedagogy. But according to Justice J.S. Verma Commission, most of the standalone teacher education institutes are merely selling degrees for a price and not even attempting serious teacher education. So this feature stresses on taking stringent action against the dysfunctional institutes who are merely selling degrees for a price. And this feature aims at turning these institutes into multidisciplinary institutes by the end of 2030. This feature also directs the multidisciplinary to have their own department and in collaboration with the disciplines such as psychology, philosophy, and whatever aligned with the goals of teacher preparation programs. Till now, these institutes have been running the Bachelor of Education programs of 4 years as a 4-year integrated degree, but from now on, these institutes will be running the 2-year Bachelor of Education programs for those having a bachelor degree in a specialized subject, and a 1-year Bachelor of Education degree for those individuals who have a master's degree or a 4-year undergraduate degree. And the admission to these pre-service teacher preparation programs will be through standardized tests conducted by the National Testing Agency, and the state-wise teacher eligibility tests will be ruled out. So the main emphasis of this feature is being laid upon improving the quality of teacher education by enriching the teacher preparation programs with high quality content and pedagogy. So one important feature which might turn out very effective also is Also that the fresh PhD entrants will have to take up credit-based courses in pedagogy and teaching during their doctoral training also, and they will also have the real teaching experience. So with hindsight, a number of a little friction will be generated while the implementation of this policy, like the post-employment challenges like exploitative employment conditions and the retaining of ad hoc teachers and poor salaries. But if implemented correctly, this policy can bring out teaching as an attractive profession to our youth. So I would like to conclude this with the fact that this national education policy gives the right ingredients and the recipe. What we make of it depends on us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aishwarya. Till date, we have been focusing on what to think, and in our national education policy, we are focusing on how to think. And I think this is going to set up a foundation for 21st century of India. This is really going to change the education system, and the quality product of students is definitely going to visit now in India. So the next participant is Ankur. Ankur Koshish from MTech.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Hello everyone, my name is Ankur and I'm from MTech Printing Technology. And today I'm going to be giving an insight about one of the features of this year's new education policy, that is reimagining vocational education. In India, there is a lot many stigmas attached to it, and it is considered as to be very inferior to the other mainstream academic education. Vocational education for us means it is just made for weaker students, but it's not the world case scenario. In India, only 5% of the students enroll in vocational education as compared to other countries such as USA, South Korea, and Japan. This makes a very hectic task for our government to reinstate all the people with the acquired skill set to in the jobs. And that's why there is a very low employment rate in India. So for this, this policy brings out the change. It wants to reinstate our education system and brings about the change so that there will be vocational education subjects from the school time, and also want to reinstate them into the higher education. But it will surely take time and it should be done in a phased manner. So it will require a lot more effort from our government side. And it talks about experimenting with the old previously constituted institutions such as polytechnics, ITIs, our engineering college. So it wants to bring change, and it wants to create a structure where Indian labor will be aligned to the international labor, so that Indian labor can be transported to other parts of the world without fearing the fact that our education system is not as compared or as far as to international level. So I would like to conclude this feature here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ankur. The next participant is Nivedita. Nivedita from BTech BME. Nivedita, you are requested to turn your video on.
Am I audible, Nitya?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, may I start?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I would be presenting my views on the multidisciplinary aspect of National Education Policy 2020. By 2030, one large multidisciplinary college in every district. This was a heading that one could not miss when the NEP 2020 was announced. The focus on making education multidisciplinary is a significant step that will benefit the students and one that will have far-reaching effects. The government of India has done a tremendous job in creating and enabling ecosystems which offer multidisciplinary education to flourish and make a difference to students, who in turn will definitely make an impact to the future of our country. The policy aims at making India a global knowledge superpower. The policy also aims at light but tight regulation by a single regulator for higher education, as well as increased access, equity, and inclusion. The flexibility to choose subjects from sciences and humanities, along with the ability to also learn fine arts and sports, will give the students a wide range of subjects to choose without the restrictions that they faced earlier. In addition to cutting-edge curriculum, flexible options, and creating combinational subjects, these kind of approach will foster intellectual curiosity, a critical thought process, a sense of commitment, professionalism, and most importantly, a heightened sensitivity to one's socio-cultural environment. The NEP has also announced an extremely pragmatic step in allowing the top 100 foreign colleges to set up campuses in India. This will propel our educational institutions to gear themselves to become truly global. With increased competition, this will raise the bar for higher education in our country. I, however, see this as an opportunity for educational institutions to collaborate and co-opt with each other. Whichever option works, the biggest beneficiaries will always be the students. One of the majorly stated aims of this policy is to instill a deep-rooted pride in being an Indian, and not only in thought, but in spirit, intellect, and deeds. We must remember that the Indian way of learning and acquiring knowledge has always been the liberal and multidisciplinary. Hence, it would be very apt for me to reiterate that this approach to education has been India's contribution to the entire world. The formulation and implementation of the National Educational Policy 2020 will play a significant role in shaping the future of our country, as well as influencing our country's growth in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next participant is Preeti Mittal. Preeti Mittal.
I am on. Hello.
You are audible and visible.
Hello. Hello everyone. I am Preeti from MBA Marketing HSB. Here to speak about new education policy. So basically, we all know aware about the new education policy existence. So in today's time, what is the main features of the new education policy? This education policy is really benefit for the both school students or college students also. In the school education system, it was a 10+2 pattern format, but now it is 5+3+3+4, where in 5 stage it will be a primary stage, third stage it will be included second, third, and fourth. Till this stage, every student can study their subject in their languages like Hindi, Marathi, and etc. in local languages, because basically old policy was on the base where English was compulsory, but now new policy is not compulsory of English, as well as after 6th class, the students can be participate in the activities of computer or software activities, where they can study or learn the skills about the computer and new technological things. Also, the new benefit of it is that obviously I told English is not compulsory, and another benefit of this policy is that the students will study according to their skills, capabilities, not by the formalities as the old policy was. The big benefit of it is that when the students were study to the year's exam, they were studying on that time where the exams were near to come, before 2 days of exam. But now they have to study every permanent time. Also for the commerce students, also for the college students, it's also benefit where they can give their examination on the basis of CAT, where common aptitude test on the basis of that. Another big benefit of that, now the students have no any banned that if they are choosing arts, they have to only study the subjects of arts, not any commerce, not any physics. They can read the biology as well as its history or accounts. They equally can study the education according to their capabilities, according to their likings, and according to their interests. That more than 2 lakh members has passed this bill of the education committee members. Also, also the big benefit for the parents also, that for the education centers, the education charges now will be limited. Means no any education center will charge this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, as we have been talking about education policy, let me tell you the actual system, the actual education policy. So the most first class students, they will get the technical seats. That means some will become doctors and some will become engineers. Coming to the second class, that means they only pass out, their pass out marks are 80 marks. The second class students, they get into MBA, become administrators and control the first class students. Then coming to the third class pass, enter politics and become ministers and control both first class and second class students. Last but not the least, the failures join the underworld and control all of the above. And coming to those who do not attend any school, become swamis and gurujis, and everyone goes to them to ask them. That means this is the exact education policy. I am sorry if I hurt someone, but I think everyone was getting bored between these things. We need to know the reality. Either is it hurting or not. Okay, so the next participant is Diksha.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible and visible.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all. My name is Diksha from BTech Electrical third year. And here I am going to talk about the new education policy 2020 released on 1st of August 2020. As this same day, Swami Vivekanand had delivered a greatest speech in Chicago. So I would like to start with few words of Swami Vivekanand. As Swami Vivekanand had said, education must lead to manifestation of the perfection that is already in each person. It must teach a person self-confidence and self-respect. He totally rejected the idea where a mind is crammed with known facts and idea before it already knows how to think. He said, books are infinite in number and time is limited. So the secret of knowledge is to gain what is essential in that particular limited time period. And this is heartening to know that the architecture of New Education Policy 2020 seeks to address these all objectives of Swami Vivekananda. As this new education policy has many features which are renewed after, first time 34 years. And these features replace the old education system which is going on since many years. And the feature I like the most is that till 5th standard, every child will teach in the language that is known to them, or you can say their mother tongue. I think it's a good initiative to promote our mother tongue. As we all know, our parents are our first teachers. They can teach their child even before he actually goes to their school. And this new policy will increase the parents' participation in school activities and their child's life. They can easily teach their child and correlate the facts which are taught in their schools in the language which is known to child as well as their parents. this will totally eliminate the the language barrier between a child and their parents, or you can say school staff. And it will also eliminate the early tuition system for the students who came from tribal areas, or you can say the background where their parents can't help them in homework and can't teach them. So this will eliminate this all, and this will also help them to learn fast in the language which is known to them. So at last, I would like to thank all of you who listen patiently my views. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diksha. The next participant is Sangeeta.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good afternoon to one and all present here on this virtual platform. So, India's education policy will finally undergo some much needed radical changes to make it more effective and relevant to this day and age. The new policy aims to pave way for transformational reforms in school and higher education systems in the country. Under the new system, the 10+2 form of school education will be split into 5+3+3+4. This means students will have much more flexibility to choose the subjects they want to study. Also, board exams will be made less stressful and will focus on the core capabilities instead of rote learning and memorizations. School students will have 10 bag-free days where they will be able to take part in vocational activities such as gardening, carpentry, it can be mechanical skills, and so on, to develop non-academic skills. The degree system will also undergo significant changes with multiple entry and exit points. It means students will receive a basic certificate or diploma even if they decide to drop out or change the course after a year or two. Most importantly, there will be no longer a rigid separation between arts and science streams. The NEP 2020 aims to facilitate and promote innovation and research. This will help India in becoming a global hub for research and development. In this way, we all can see new education policy seems to acknowledge an inclusive, participatory, and holistic approach which takes into consideration field experiences, empirical research, stakeholder feedback, and the best learned practices from past. This education is a progressive shift to a more scientific approach to education. The prescribed structure will help to cater the ability of child, cognitive development, as well as social and physical awareness. If implemented in its true vision, it can definitely bring India at par with the leading countries of the world. To conclude, I would like to say the intent of policy seems to be fantastic and ideal in many ways, but it is the implementation where lies the key to success. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta. As you have mentioned, I think the previous one has mentioned the language barrier. Actually, I was listening from starting. The language barrier is there. Language barrier is there. Everyone can learn in their own language. So let me tell you once what happened. There was a student. पप्पू ही बोल देते हैं हम उसको. तो उसके पास एग्जाम्स में एक क्वेश्चन आया कि what is 9 किसको कहते हैं. अब as because it was a new education policy, तो उसको तो नहीं पता था ना कि इंग्लिश में 9 किसे कहते हैं. तो he mentioned नाई की जो घरवाली होती है, नाई की जो वाइफ होती है, उसको 9 कहते हैं. So this is the language barrier that can affect many students. One need to take care of this. And the next participant is Sonu. रेखा मैम उदास लग रहे हो आप थोड़े।
Hello.
Hello. Yes, Sonu, you are audible and visible both.
Hello everyone, my name is Sonu and I'm from BPT third year and I'm gonna talk about the 5+3+3+4 system in school education. In major school to college reforms, the government on July 28 revealed that the new education policy has changes many things, and the major transforming school education that dilutes the emphasis on board exams. The 5+3+3+4 system aims at to transforming the pedagogical structure from the pre-existing 10+2 model to a 5+3+3+4 structure. Today, a student enters formal education at the age of 3 to 6 years, and when he enters the formal education by means of play school, then the child moves to a school which is kindergarten, class 1 and 2, followed by 12 years of 12 years of schooling and then higher secondary education. Now, the stages and the age-wise breakup of new education policy. First is foundational stage. The foundational stage will cover 3 to 8 years, and it will consist the 3 years of primary education and class 1 and 2. It will also cover the pre-primary education, which will considered primarily as the formal education. It will also cover 3 years of Anganwadi. Second stage will be the preparatory stage. It will cover class 3 to 5 and the age group from 8 to 11 years. It will focus on the experimental learning. The third stage will be the middle stage, and it will cover from 6 to 8 class, and it consists the age group from 11 to 14 years. The main aim of this stage is to transforming the pedagogy from the existing system to a more disciplinary and experimental learning in math, science, history, and some other languages. In this stage, middle stage, will also get a chance to learn coding and do internship from class 6 onwards. The last stage will be the secondary stage. In this stage, students from class 9 to 12 are involved. Class 9 to 12 involved. The main aim and the focus will be the multidisciplinary study, in which the student will be able to choose or pick any subjects from of their interest from the available structure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonu. The next participant is Kiran. Kiran. अरे आप तो एनसीसी वाले बन के आ गए।
है मेरा अखबार रोजाना, वो हो तो खिड़कियां खोले जहां की, मेरी अपनी खबर भी देगा मुझको।
Kiran looking nice in NCC dress. किरण अनम्यूट करो अपने आप को। यस।
Good afternoon. My name is Kiran. Today I am very happy to say that the new education policy that government has been brought in. First in 1968 first education policy Indira Gandhi's government, second education policy 1986 Rajiv Gandhi government. In this education policy modifying in 1992 PV Narasimha Rao government, and after long wait of 34 years, new education policy Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi government. They have addressed almost all major points of criticism new education policy, and they have revolutionary of our education system. First of main point is no barrier language, means student.
Your earphones are not correctly connected. If you could please
remove your earphones, then it will be better, I think.
Yes, sir.
Remove the earphones.
Are you audible and visible?
Yes.
You are.
Yes. First of main point, no language barrier means student in mother tongue regional language till 5th standard, and this is no focus and no pressurize particular language. Second one is multiple disciplinary system, means flexible of subject to student according to our choice, means no border system in arts and science streams. They break down, they will be improve creative thinking and critical thinking, communication skills, and design skills also. The student often plan and communications on subject choice, and other point is multiple entry and exit, means can leave and can continue studies. They will be 1 year in study, any graduation they adopt certificate, 2 years in graduation they adopt diplomas, and 3 year 4 year they adopt degrees. And next one is point is single regulator, means all colleges under one body plan, means higher education communications of India, means another they can say. Another one is vocational education system, means focus on skills from 6th standard option to vocational subjects, for example coding, painting, and other ones. All there are very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiran. स्टार्टिंग में आपके शब्द कुछ इस तरह हमें सुनाई दिए कि हम समझ ही नहीं पाए आप क्या बात कर रहे हैं, इस वजह से मुझे बीच में रोकना पड़ा आपको। अरे मतलब मैंने बनाई तो शायरी थी इसके वर्ड्स के लिए, लेकिन मुझे भूल गई बोलने से।
ऐसा नहीं है,
भी पता नहीं कहाँ गए।
Nitya ma'am, can I start?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is Lalita Kanwar. I'm pursuing my BTech from Guru Jambheshwar University, and today I'm here to present my views on the new national education policy. The new national education policy was approved by the Union Cabinet on 29th of July 2020, and it is the first such policy in the last 34 years. The NEP is ambitious and futuristic, but much of its success will depend on how it will be executed. The NEP will introduce a large number of changes, such as ensuring free education for all till the age of 18, with more accessibility to reduce dropouts because of different factors, and scrapping the 10+2 structure for a 5+3+3 3+4 structure in school education. The policy aims to universalize the pre-primary education and provide foundational literacy for all by 2025. In my view, the best feature of NEP is multi-stream, which means flexibility to choose subjects across streams. All the subjects will be offered at 2 levels of proficiency. One of the major reasons behind the dropout ratio is that students do not have the freedom to choose their own subjects. But NEP will give the same. Now, students will not have to be limited to the watertight boundaries of the science, commerce, and humanities, and will choose the subjects they actually want to choose. It will bring the focus of the marks and mark sheet based education back to the learning based education. The most common question which arises in a student's mind after completing 10th is which stream to choose. And if you do well in your 10th boards, it was expected from you that you will choose only science stream. I was also a science student and I was also very much interested in studying history also, but I had no option. But now it is possible. Earlier, it was not possible for a science student to study subjects of humanities like geography, physical, political science, and history. But an EP will give this right to the students. Earlier, a student's intelligence was judged on the basis of streams, but now there will be no science, commerce, and humanities. There will be only students. All the students are equally intelligent, and now onwards, they will be treated equally. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. The next participant is Shubhra. Shubhra. Once unmuted, you won't be able to unmute yourself.
My voice is audible to you?
Yes, yes.
Education is the weapon that enlightens and brightens an individual, that leads to a powerful nation. Hello everyone. Good evening to all judges. Here I am Shubhra Sharma. I'm going to discuss about this NEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020. Before this policy, the government has implemented in 1968, in 1986, then the further provision made in 1992. Now, this policy is really totally revamped this education system. It is a good initiative by our government. Now, and our HRD ministry drafted this policy on 300 pages. They discussed this policy on 5 basic points briefly. That the first one is the school education. Then second, we have the higher education. Third is the language. Then finance, and that is the technology. What about school education? School education, before we have the 10+2 concept, now we have the 5+3+3+4 concept. This concept is divided into stages. Like first we have the foundation stage. In this stage, government has mentioned there is the pre-nursery school concept for 2 years. Then we have the preparatory stage, that basically on activities learning. Then we have the secondary, and then we have the we have the primary, and then we have the secondary stage. Secondary stage from 9 to 12. Before we can choose our subject after 10th. Now we can choose a subject after 9th. Now what about the higher education? Higher education, they made the provision. There is only the one body, higher education, that governs the all institution, excluding medical and legal studies. Then furthermore concept they have added the multiple exit and in concept. Then we have the no invaluable dropout scenario. That is, if we study for 1 year in a course we enter, we have the certificate for that one course. That is, and now we have the languages. Now they mentioned that whenever is possible, the media of instruction should be local, mother tongue, and should be regional languages until 5th grade, or if possible 8th grade. Now this is the main issue. This is the criticism point on this policy. Different bodies and different individual are thinking accordingly, because they said that education is the concurrent subject that includes state plus central government instructions. Now what we have of the technology. They said that after, especially after this pandemic, they more focus on technology. Then they included that coding system is important, and every student should learn this coding languages. Then they more focus on the technology based learning. That is also a criticism point, because as we have the government and private institution both, but what are the implemented, how is going to implement it, that is the major issue. Then we have the finance. They thinking to they increase our 6% GDP they spend on our education system. Before we have the 3% 3% data, only 3% GDP is going to spend. Now what are the positive points? So first of all, we have the flexibility to choose our subjects. Then we have
Shubhra?
Yes
Hello?
sir.
You have exceeded your time.
Okay sir, let me revamp this. Then this positive point, flexible. Then we have this self-critical thinking, yani self-assessment. Now the negative point, that critical on languages, then critical thing, how is going to implement it. Now thank you for this opportunity, giving me so much your precious time, so I can speak on that subject for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shubhra. The next participant is Dikshu Sangwan. Actually, I was feeling very happy listening to Shubhra. I don't want her to stop. And she mentioned that everyone needs to learn coding. अरे भाई चावल बना के खाने हैं क्या? कोडिंग सभी सीखेंगे. मुझे तो टेंशन हो रही है मेरे करियर की अब. Okay, Dikshu, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm audible and visible.
Yes, you are.
My name is, first of all, very good afternoon to all of you. I am Dikshu Sangwan from BSc Chemistry, second year JJU campus. So I will discuss about NEP. NEP 2020 has released. The draft of the new policy was prepared by a panel headed by Dr. Kasturi Rangan. So if anything is implemented, it will have both the sides, the pros and cons. So I will talk about the both. So the biggest change we are going to face is in school education. School is a place which makes a strong foundation of a student. Old system, that is 10 plus 2 system, has been converted into 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 system. That is the foundation stage, preparatory stage, middle stage, and secondary stage. Because it is really good, because kids have the choices to choose one of each at the stage. They can choose about their career, what they want to do. The degree or the graduation programs will be of 4 years with multiple entry and exit options. They can change their streams as well as they want. New NEP focuses on the application of knowledge rather than rote learning. 2020 NEP also emphasizes on critical thinking and analytical skills of a student. If we go to the next point, next positive side is much awaited, that is entry of top 100 colleges into India, which is also bring the global destination of study in India. Students will experience exposure of international studies. If the next plus point we come to is the mandatory counseling system in schools, that which means the school should have a counseling system to help the students to come out of their stress and emotional issues. Next is the Indian government had announced that the 6% of GDP will be invested in the school education and the education system, whether it will be of higher education or any school education. If we talk about the cons of this NEP, one of the biggest concern is being English language sideline. Most, as NEP states that a student should have taught in mother language or regional language up to class 5th, which will definitely affect the English language skills, because it in turn will reflect in their growth and in higher education. If speaking of the coding, one of the negatives would be the access to the computer. So many of the students are not able to even afford the smartphones for the online classes on these days. So how they will afford the smartphones and the computers for the coding? Next concern is setup of foreign education system in India. And the emphasis on this education given is of mother language. So how students will manage themselves in English language if they get to the foreign universities? If anything is implemented in a better way, it will get better results. So hoping for the best implementation, because implementation is the key to success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dikshu. The next participant is Rashmi. Rashmi, what happened once a kid goes to school and come back home, and her mother asked him, "What did you learn today?" He mentioned, "Nothing more, I need to go tomorrow again." And it is happening with all of us. I don't know when will it end, the education system, and as it has been changed, one need to learn vocational, it's good, but one need to work over vocational, how to expertise over vocational. This thing is really going to be typical. It is not as easy as people are taking this. It is really very tough. One can simply tell what actually Python is, but one cannot code the actual coding in the Python. Yes, sir, I am waiting for Rashmi to please turn on her video. Rashmi, turn on your video. We will turn your audio on.
Melissa, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Good evening, respected chairperson, teacher, and friends. Today, I, Rashmi, is going to air my views on the topic impact of new education policy on higher education. The new education policy, NEP, states that the world's top 100 universities will be facilitated to operate in our country, though through a new law. Now, foreign universities like Oxford and MIT, etc., can open their campus in India. Looking at the current scenario, participation of foreign universities in India is limited to entering in collaborative twinning programs, sharing faculty, and offering distance education. Over 650 foreign education providers have such arrangements in India. Talking about the shift in format of undergraduate education. Under the 4-year program proposed in the new education policy, students can exit after 1 year with a certificate, after 2 years with a diploma, after 3 years with a bachelor's degree. 4 years bachelor's degree generally include a certain amount of research work. It will be help in enrolling for PhD. A master's degree or a 4 years bachelor's degree with research shall be required and the MPhil program shall be discontinued. The new education policy aims for broad-based flexible learning. Standard higher education institutes and professional education institutes will be evolved into multidisciplinary education. Institutions offering single streams such as technical education must be phased out. For example, a civil engineer know how to build a dam is not going to solve a problem. He or she needs to know the environmental and social impact of building the dam. The IITs are already moving in that direction. IIT Delhi has a humanities department and set up a public policy department recently. Some of the best universities in US, such as MIT, have very strong humanities department. Looking at the situation posed by the COVID-19 pandemic and the overnight move to online classes, the policy has postponed to National Education Technology Forum, NETF, a platform for the free exchange of ideas on the use of technology. The policy also forms a single regulator called the Higher Education Commission of India, HECI, for proper implementation of this policy. At last, I want to say that with this policy, talent will not go in waste and one who truly deserve will get a fair recognition. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rashmi. The next participant is Gajal.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible and visible.
Okay. First of all, a very good afternoon to all the respected teachers and my fellows. I am Kajal from Chemistry Department, New Education Policy. But before I start, I would like to present a famous quote. If you want to change the picture of your country, then you should change the picture of its education. Yeah. And hence, I really admire all the changes that are introduced in our new education policy. But I always keep one fact in my mind that you can't build a great building on a weak foundation. So here I will be, and in my opinion, it is only the school education which is the foremost foundation for the school education. And here I will be talking about the change of old and cramming based 10+2 system to a new and creative 5+3+3+4 system. And now this system is entirely different from the previous one. There are nearly 4 stages: foundation, preparatory, middle, and the secondary stage. And at each stage, different aspects of life are taught in a systematic manner. And also there are certain age groups which are made on the basis of type of education which they will be taught there. Now, I would like to highlight the major points here. The first one is there would be a vocational training program which would help the students to enhance their capabilities, not just in education sector, but in other sectors also. For example, if a student is interested in painting, then he will be able to take a special training under a professional training. And the second one is there would be a focus on experimental learning. And this experimental learning is not just limited to science subject, but it is stressed to humanities also. And the third one is now there would not be a burden on students to study only in the English medium. Now it will depend on a student whether he chooses his mother tongue or English as a medium of language. And the fourth one and the interesting one is that the report cards which we get at the end of session will not be evaluated only on the basis of our academic score. It will include our academic score, our parents' assessment, and our self-assessment also. And the fifth one and the major one is that there would be a multidisciplinary study. It means that a student is independent to choose a set of subjects as he or she wants. Now he is independent. Now at last but not least, I would like to sum up my whole conversation only in one line. There is no doubt that the features of new education policy are very soothing and are very creative. But I must say to the coming students that not to dream their lives only on the basis of these futures, because its success depends only on its success. Its success depends only on its implementation. And thank you so much for giving me time. Have a great day and stay home, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kajal. The next participant is Samarjeet. अरे ये कोई बात नहीं होती, मुझे अभी 2 मिनट बोलना था, अपनी वीडियो ऐसे कैसे पहले ही ऑन कर लिया आपने?
अभी तो बोल रहे थे.
It's okay, Samarjeet, you can turn your video on.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Samarjeet Singh, and today I'll be discussing some of the important features of our national education policy. Our national education policy is changed after 24 years, and it is third time that it's changed after, of course, after independence. The national education policy enacts numerous changes in India's education policy, and the main objective is to increase the state expenditure on education from around 4% to 6%. The national education policy also raises the importance of using mother tongue and regional languages, like up to 5th standard. The teaching will be done in mother tongue, so they can choose whatever their language they want. And the policy also states that no language will be imposed on the students, so they are free to use. The current structure, that is 10+2 structure, will be replaced by 5+3+3+4 structure model, which contains foundational stage from which includes 3 years of preschooling, followed by classes 1 and 2, and then preparatory stage from class 3 to 5. Then comes the middle stage from class 6 to 8. Here, the students will get to know about some of the advanced concepts of science and technology, and coding will be started from class 6 onward. Then comes the secondary stage from class 9 to 12. Here students have the opportunity to select whatever the subject they want. And then for higher education, a new program will be introduced. A new bachelor degree, multidisciplinary bachelor degree will be introduced with multiple exit options. A credit bank system is also introduced, which will be helpful for those candidates who could not continue their study. They have to leave within a degree course, so they can use their credit, whatever up to which semester or which year they have studied or clear their semester, their credit will be reserved, and they can use this credit for getting the higher degree. So for 1 year, they will get a certificate. For completion of 2 years, they will get a diploma certificate. And for the completion of 3 years, full course, full program, they will get a degree certificate. And MPhil degree is discontinued in the new education policy. And the most important thing, for becoming a teacher, a new program, Bachelor of Education 4-year program is also introduced, and it will be the basic, it will be the main eligibility criteria for becoming a teacher by the year 2030. So by looking at the national education policy, it mainly focuses on building the overall development of the students. They don't want to make chaturs. They want the student to have adequate skill and practical knowledge of their study. So whatever they study, they want is to have the main knowledge, core knowledge of that subject. So I hope all these changes will be helpful in increasing the employability rate among the youth, so that they can help in developing and making our nation prosper. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Samarjeet. The next participant is Shalini Sharma. Shalini Sharma.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible and visible.
Okay. Intellectual growth commences at the time of birth and should cease at the time of death, by Albert Einstein. A very good afternoon to all the judges and the galaxies of intellectuals present over here. My name is Shalini, and today I'm going to speak on one aspect of this new education policy 2020 in front of you. So the new education policy 2020 has envisaged the transformational reforms in the in our Indian education system by adding the internships and vocational courses. So by the end of 2020, so by the end of 21st century, we can expect 50% of learners from higher school education and secondary school students will acquire those skills which is required in the real workforce. So the students from the class 6 to 8 will have these vocational courses by the year in the summer and winter holidays, like carpentry, marketing, coding. Like coding doesn't see the age. You can start coding from 5th class, from 6th class. Like an example from Hyderabad, a 13-year boy is owning a company which he runs and by the Python language. He has learned the Python language in 4th and 5th class, and now he's in 6th class and he's the owner of that company. So it doesn't, vocational skills and internships doesn't require the age, and this is the most brilliant factor that this policy has added to make the students of India more holistic, flexible, and multidisciplinary in every aspect of the workforce we need the students to be. And so they can try carpentry, pottery, electric work, metal work, etc. This skill map will be decided by their local and state community, which they need to be emphasized. And the most important feature is the internships will explore the classroom learning and knowledge in a professional community or community setting with the help of practical skills. This is the most important, because in my perspective, learning is one thing, but applying that same principles on the ground is quite a bit tough, but it can be. So, but the most pragmatic way is that only to do internships. As a student of BTech, I know what the number and the quality of internships we need to write in our resumes and what they matter at the resume time. So they can choose the internships, and the most point which I like about that policy is that it will help out to figure that what they like and what they don't like. Like if they do some internships and they don't like a particular section, so there's a silver lining to be found that they will not stick to that ill-fitting job for rest of their life after their graduation. Fifth one is another laudable aspect that this policy gives, that a 10-day bagless feature, so that students will come back to their school with more stoical and perspicacious mindset, and they will be more excited what they're learning about, what they're studying about. And the most important is the addition of vocational courses. This will definitely support the idea of skill mission India, which Narendra Modi ji started in 2016. And yes, these internships and vocational courses just help them to imbibe these few qualities: teamwork, adaptability skills, communication skills, make them more responsible. They will be good at their time management. They will develop a teamwork spirit. And yes, it's a good policy to make every aspect of the students, to make them more comfortable to the job environment in their school only. Yes, but it's India. It is the implementation where it all lies. So thank you for listening me patiently.
Thank you, Shalini. The next participant is Rahul.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible and visible.
First of all, good afternoon to everyone present in this interesting event, that is a virtual declamation contest on National Education Policy 2020. Education, as we all know, that it is a weapon or tool that can change one's life, that can improve one's life and change the world. Education level of a country can decide the country is developed or not. So, keeping this point in mind, our government of India developed a tool, that is National Education Policy 2020. So I will describe some major objective of this National Education Policy 2020. First of all, that is now the academic structure of school education is changed from 10+2 system to 5+3+3+4 system that consists of 4 stages, that is foundational, preparatory, middle and secondary stages respectively, from age 3 to 18. The first stage, that is foundational stage that consists of 5 years. I mean, the children will enter firstly in the preschool, or we can say Bal Vatika. Here the learning will be on activity based. For example, we can say puzzle, games, shape, color, alphabet learning, etc. Mean the overall development of the children will be there, and remaining 2 years will for first and second year, first and second class, and the student will enter into further stages according to their age. And as we all know that education, language is the most important for in our life. So there is no foundation of languages there. Mean to say, Government of India in National Education Policy 2020 decided that the mode of instruction, or we can say learning, will be until at least grade 5 will in regional or mother tongue language, because all we know that the children get or capture the things quickly in home language. And the government will focus to increase the gross enrollment ratio to reach up 100% to preschool to secondary level. And other objective of this is the flexibility and choice of subjects. Now this objective will lead to the student can design their own life, can design their structure of their life by choosing their interesting subject. And there will be introduction of contemporary subjects such as artificial intelligence, design thinking. And the most interesting point of this policy is that from the medium level, there will be introduction of coding learning. This example we can see in China. From the initial age, students learn the coding. And last, I want to say that 360-degree holistic report card will be made based on the overall performance of the students. There will be equal putting of academic structure.
Thank you so much. The next participant is Sahil. Sahil.
Hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
May I start?
Yes, you can.
17 June 2020, I met one of my old friends. Our conversation continued like this. I asked him, you were always fascinated by the skies and wanted to become a pilot. Do you still cherish the dream and are working towards it? I got this heartening reply. He said, I was not allowed to go for pilot, but was advised to prepare for IAS examination. And my dream of becoming pilot was totally vanished. Friends, it is indeed ironic that a child who have interest in becoming pilot have to prepare for IAS. Now, I think, friends, that if the child was properly guided according to his interest and was provided vocational education, he could be one of the best pilots in the world. But reality is completely different. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I, Sahil, standing here to air my views on the given topic, vocational education, the key feature of New Education Policy 2020. India, a developing nation, and much is done to improve the quality of education. Hence approved an NEP after 34 years. This policy aims to give a new shape and strength to India's push towards self-reliant India. The choice of the path is left to students. Students can choose what appeals them most. NEP promotes all-round development of a student. NEP offers a sea of opportunity to students. Up to class 8, mother tongue will be the medium of instruction. Interest is something that builds and grows over a period of time. So NEP introduced vocational education from class 6 onward. This feature ensures that a student can choose one of his favorite professional subjects in which he wants to make career. How can a small boy weighing 30 kg can carry a bag of 30 kg? As unnecessary baggage impedes our forward momentum. So according to NEP, there is reduction in the burdensome syllabus and more focus is on vocational education. The early bird catches the worm. Success comes to those who get started on the job early and prepare well in advance. So this very feature of NEP, that is vocational education, will give the student a chance to start early, that is from class 6 onwards, towards their professional interest. This wonderful period of child life is like a soft wet clay in the hands of the potter. Skillfully, like potter gives it right and correct shape and forms which he intends to give. In the same way, this feature wisely molds child's life. The building mainly depends on the foundation. Strong is the foundation, strong will be the building. So this feature, that is vocational education, gives a strong base to students. I am confident that if implemented well, this education policy can prove to be a game changer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sahil. Thank you so much. Sahil was the last participant with us. And I would like to invite our judges, the chain, and that is our Rekha ma'am. Ma'am, please encourage the students.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank Pratap sir for inviting me as judge for this Speakathon event. Then I have been associated with training and placement cell from last 1 year. Pratap sir, Aditya sir, along with his team, always remain enthusiastic and keen for improvement and betterment of students, and keep on organizing variety of activities to inculcate qualities among them. In the present time of pandemic, he has shifted to online mode for his programs and consistently organizing events. In this series of Speakathon, number of events have been organized till date, and today a very important topic has been selected related to new education policy. Now, I would like to congratulate all the students and participants who worked hard to participate in this Speakathon event. Last but not the least, Inderjeet and other students, Nitya, Brijesh, and I'm sorry if I have left somebody, and other students who worked hard to make this event successful. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thanks.
I have not announced the result. Sir would announce.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And the gem of the bead, Dr. Munish ji. You are the gem to the bead. I know you are getting bored. I tried to interact, but you people were muted. Sir, please unmute yourself.
No, it's not like that. It was very interesting topic, national education policy. So first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Pratap Malik ji, Director Training and Placement, for inviting me as a judge. So I was seeing that Nitya and Mr. Brijesh, they were very active, and Mr. Inderjeet, I think Inderjeet, na? Right. So this national education, all the participants were very good. So they were all. There is a very little margin, I would like to say, but always there is some scope is there of improvement. So but the thing is, the national education policy on which we were listening, this is very this is coming to change the. This is in the coming years, it will change our this education system, our teachers, our students, and it will also bring the nation to a great you can say success. So all should enthusiastically go for this national education policy. So I would hand over this to Pratap sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, Nitya.
I would like to invite Brijesh for the vote of thanks.
Before that, results.
Sir, results are being announced by you.
Before vote of thanks.
Hello.
Hello. Brijesh, have a hold, please.
Hello. Very good afternoon to all of you. Sir, please, first of all, sir, before.
I think he has been muted by someone.
Hello.
Hello.
Nitya,
Yes, Brijesh, audible.
Nitya, firstly, results will be declared.
Sir, मैं वही बोल रहा था. I was just saying that before you.
That Brijesh. Okay. Sir, I request you to please announce the result.
Thanks once again, Nitya, and to our judges also, who have worked very hard to do the assessment of 23 students who have participated in today's event. So as told by Dr. Manish Gupta ji, all the students have performed very well, and there is very small margin. But as per rule, we have to basically announce top 5 performing students. So I am announcing the top 5 students for today's competition. So fifth prize goes to Dikshu Sangwan, and along with the name I am telling the marks also. So Dikshu has scored 166 marks out of 200. So Dikshu has come at 5th position. So please give a big hand for Dikshu. And Dikshu, you can make your video on also to show your face. And fourth prize goes to Sangeeta. Fourth prize goes to Sangeeta. So again, big round of applause for Sangeeta. And Sangeeta, you can make your video on. And third prize has collectively been announced for 2 students, and because both the students have scored 170 marks, and those students are Diksha and Shubhra. Diksha and Shubhra, they are collectively at 3rd position. So big round of applause for both of these students, and they can make their video on. And second prize with marks 171 goes to Sanju. So please give a big hand for Sanju. Welcome her. And first prize goes to Nivedita with 182 marks. So big round of applause for Nivedita. So I appeal all the winners to please make their video on, so that we can only all the winners, they can make their video on, whose names have been announced. So congratulations to all of you. I think all have come. Sanju, Shubhra, Diksha, Sangeeta. 6 students should be there. 2 are left. 2 students are left.
दिक्षु शायद दिक्षु लेफ्ट हो गए होंगे, उसको शायद उसको जाना था कहीं.
So congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Congratulations all of you.
Nitya.
Yes, sir. Logically, if we are looking forward,
all the students, all the participants, and volunteers also, so that collectively we can have a snapshot group photo. ठीक है मनीष जी, थैंक्स अ लॉट.
Thank you, ji. Thank you.
And Dr. Rekha, thanks a lot.
Thank you,
to
sir.
all the
Thank you so
students,
much.
and keep this spirit up, and keep on participating in such type of events. Okay, well done, Nitya, and all the volunteers in leadership of Vijesh. ठीक है, thank you to all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.